Hey guys, Playtendo Guy here, and I thought I'd give you my thoughts and reaction on the Nintendo Switch presentation that was held yesterday. For those who don't know, the Switch is Nintendo's new hybrid-like console that you can, if you pardon the pun, switch between being a normal standard console to a portable games device that you can take on the go. And this presentation that was shown promised to talk more about the console, what games we'll be playing on it, and more importantly, the price and the release date. So without further ado, let's begin. The presentation kicked off around 4 AM in the UK, so I didn't bother getting up that early to watch it and decided to watch it later on in the day. And you know what, I'm kinda glad I didn't wake up that early to watch it, because I was a little disappointed with the whole thing. The presentation kicked off with a load of strobe light and a DJ playing some music. It felt less like a presentation about a new console, more like being in a nightclub. Anyway, after a little countdown clock, the president of Nintendo appeared on the stage and told us the first most important thing about the Switch, its release date. The console will launch pretty much everywhere in the US, Japan, Europe, the UK, and some other places on March the 3rd, 2017, so that isn't that far along now, only about 6 weeks, and the price will be 29,980 yen in Japan, $299 in the US, but in Europe, it's up to the retailers to decide, and it's kind of a pain in the backside in the UK as the Switch is pretty high at $279.99, way more than the rumoured £200. I'm going to gather good old Brexit has something to do with the rather inflated price point. Anyway, inside the box for your snazzy new Nintendo Switch, you get the Nintendo Switch itself, the Joy-Con left and right controllers, the Nintendo Switch cradle that allows you to switch to the TV, a Joy-Con grip, 2 Joy-Con wrist straps, a power supply, and a HDMI lead. There's a fair amount of stuff in the box for the price, but it would have been nice if there was a game included, or a bundle that included a game, because as of yet, there isn't one. One thing Nintendo did stated quite early is that they're going to charge for the online services, so yeah, Nintendo will buck the trend that Sony and Microsoft started all those years ago. The online service will be free to all users from launch, but later on in the year, around autumn time, they'll start bringing a charge for online. It is a shame to see Nintendo doing this, as free online multiplayer would be a big selling point for the Switch, but hey, it isn't all that surprising. It's also worth noting that if you subscribe to online, you will get a few SNES or NES games every month for free, but the baffling move is that Nintendo will take the games off you once the month is over, so you won't be able to build a collection of online games like you could on PS Plus or Xbox games with Gold. A very strange move from Nintendo and something that very much needs a rethink. Nintendo also announced that the console will be region locked, which is great, and they also talked about the many different ways you could use and play the Switch, whether it was using it through the TV or playing it on the go, or using the included stand on the Switch to play it on the table with your friend or on your own. It's certainly interesting to see how versatile the thing is. Many of you will be wondering what the battery life is like, and it shouldn't come to no surprise as the Switch battery life is between 2.5 and 6 hours long, depending on the game, brightness and the like, and my opinion is of that is a bit so-so. While I wasn't expecting a 10-hour battery life, it's still a bit short, especially if you want to take it on the go. So it does kind of take a bit of the portability away, because you'll always be wondering, I might have to charge it. Next up was a demonstration of what the new Joy-Con controllers can do, and boy can't they do a lot. Not only can you obviously play games with them, you can scan Amiibo with them, there's extra L and R buttons on the side, motion controls included, a sensor that can read certain hand symbols, and something called HD Rumble, in which the demo was shown that it can resemble shaking ice in the glass. It's a bit weird, but the amount of stuff these things can do is quite astounding, but my issue with the controllers is that they do look a little bit small, especially for those with big hands, and another thing is, will these features all be used in future games? Yes, there'll be a few launch games that'll make use of it, but what about much later on in the system's life? Look at the Wii U gamepad. Nintendo didn't use much of what the gamepad could do. Heck, the only company that used the Wii U gamepad to its full potential was Ubisoft and Square Enix, with its Deus Ex Sport and ZombiU. So, I'm a bit dubious about it. Anyway, let's get on with the actual games that were revealed. First up is 1-2 Switch, which was a weird mini-game collection that at first I thought was Red Dead Redemption 2 reveal, but no, it was a western standoff that looked like something out of a John Wayne movie. The trailer didn't reveal much of all what gameplay it is, it just seems to be the Switch's version of Wii Sports or Nintendo Land, a little game to show off what your new console can do. It was weird and I don't know what to make of it. It shouldn't be a full price game, but yeah. Next up was a new boxing game, and before you say it, no, it's not Punch-Out. It's something called ARMS, which is another weird looking game. It's a boxing but with long extendable arms. Yeah, to say I was underwhelmed was an understatement. It shows promise, but when you think of Nintendo and you think of boxing, you put them two together, yeah, Punch-Out, not ARMS. It's weird. But it could turn out to be good and there's something to look out for, I suppose. Thankfully, the presentation picked up quite quickly with the return of Splatoon. And no, it wasn't the port like what all the rumours were saying, it was a brand new sequel with new maps, guns and the like, and it looked brilliant. The only bad point, it's not a launch game. It's coming out in the summer, so not long to wait, but it would have been much more better as a launch title. The quality kept coming with the big new 3D Mario game, Super Mario Odyssey. It sees Mario head to a big new city hub area similar to New York, and the trailer showed Mario exploring and jumping around the city, and it also seemed going to some of the new game levels. It looked very much like it's going to be like the old 3D Mario games, and that's no bad thing. Mario also had a new ability. His hat seemed to be alive, and it allows him to throw it like a frisbee. Oh, and Bowser's there, and he's rocking a Liberace look. The game looks fantastic, but the game isn't coming out till holiday 2017, which is a big shame. This should be near to launch. A big reason to buy Switch. A big reason to buy Switch later on. Nintendo also showed up a follow-up sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles called Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The game certainly looked nice with a new chibi art style for the characters, but it still looks a fair bit off yet. Also announced was Fire Emblem Warriors, which is, you've guessed it, Dynasty Warriors with Fire Emblem characters. Much like Hyrule Warriors, this certainly looks to be one to look out for, but the trailer didn't reveal any gameplay bar a character with a sword, so yet again, this is likely to be a while before this is released. Other games coming to the Switch are Dragon Quest X, Dragon Quest XI, and Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 in a double pack, which is quite nice. A new Shin Megami Tensei game from Atlus, No More Heroes is returning, and there was also a new RPG from Square Enix. Skyrim was also coming to the Switch, but whether it's the special edition that was released last year or the original game that was released God knows when, it remains to be seen. EA also popped up to announce FIFA is coming to the Switch with its most feature-packed FIFA game on the Nintendo system to date. So that isn't saying much, to be honest, because the Wii U version of FIFA 13 was quite basic. It's also unknown whether the game is FIFA 17 or FIFA 18, so we have to wait and see what's it going to be like. There was also a trailer showing various other games coming to the Switch, a new Bomberman game, the previously PS4 exclusive, now multi-platform title Rime, Wii U exclusive LEGO City Undercover's getting a multi-plat release, Rayman Legends getting the definitive edition, Just Dance is coming, Steep's coming, which is quite a good game in my opinion, Sonic Mania is finally coming, and so is the new 3D Sonic game. There's also a spruced up version of Mario Kart 8 and Minecraft coming, as well as Minecraft Story Mode and a few more indie titles. Overall, the trailer did show some pretty good looking games, but the problem is a lot of these games are years old and have previously been released on Wii U. Hopefully there'll be more games revealed later that are new. After that, the presentation ended with a trailer for the new Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, and wow. It was certainly the highlight of the whole presentation. The game looked beautiful. Heck, half the time it looked like an anime. And the most important bit of info came at the end of the trailer. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is coming out on March the 3rd for Switch and Wii U. So that means it's going to be a Switch launch title, and that's a very good thing indeed. Overall, the presentation was very so-so, with many swings and roundabout moments. It was great that the Switch release date was finally announced, but the high price in the UK was a sore point. There was a good amount of games on offer, but a lot of them are ports of older games, or not even ready for release yet. Zelda is a launch title, which is great, but what else are we going to play on March the 3rd? We need to hear more what is available at launch. Actually, the launch games have been revealed, and the Switch is getting a grand total of, drumroll please, 5 games. Yes, you read my lips right, 5 games, which is a paltry amount. The titles in that list include Zelda Breath of the Wild, Just Dance, Skylanders Imaginators, Bomberman, and 1-2 Switch. And that is a small lineup to say the least. Yes, Zelda's a big one there, but it's already coming out on Wii U, and I think Nintendo are banking on people getting the Switch version at launch just for Zelda. And I know a lot of people doing that, but I want something else to play on my brand new Switch bar Zelda. Call me greedy, but I don't want to buy a console just for one game. People moaned about the Wii U launch, but it had 3 big titles: Nintendo Land, Super Mario Bros. U, and Zombie U. Here on Switch, it's just Zelda. If Splatoon and Mario Kart 8 Definitive Edition was also available at launch, I wouldn't have no qualm in picking one up at launch. Yes, there's some awesome games coming out, but it's going to be a long time till we play them, so the Switch will be gathering dust just like the Wii U, which I hope wasn't going to happen to the Switch. What happened to the big third-party lineup and all those 80 games in development? They must be quite early in development and a long way off, that's all I've got to say. Hopefully Nintendo will address what many people are asking about the Switch and tell us a bit more about the console before its launch in the coming weeks, because it isn't too long now, so hopefully there should be a lot of info coming. It's worth noting the Switch is available now to pre-order, and you can choose between 2 bundles: the normal grey console with grey Joy-Cons, or grey console with blue and red Joy-Cons. There's also several pre-orders for games. These prices vary from £40 all the way up to a staggering £60, which is quite a fair bit just for a game. There's also pre-orders for Joy-Cons. One Joy-Con's about £40 odd and 2 £75, which is quite expensive. There's also a Pro Controller, which I've seen doing the rounds at £100, or a wired one for about £30. Whether these prices are final, it remains to be seen. I really hope they ain't, because some of these accessories are really expensive. Anyway, it's time for me to wrap up this video and tell you what I think. I think the Switch is a really interesting console with plenty of cool and unique ideas, and I'd like to get one, but I want Nintendo to make me want one. At the moment, I'm getting the feeling they just want to get the console out there to make up for the Wii ASAP. The launch in the first 6 months do look quite empty, but the future Switch looks bright. I just hope Nintendo feels the same way too. Anyway, this has been Playtendo Guy. I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you for watching my video. Like, rate and subscribe, and until next time, happy gaming. Bye.